Hey ho folks, what's up? This is Makro and today we're playing Satisfactory again. In the last episode we finished our aluminum factory, the final one, the final stage of it, so to say, and now have access to fused modular frames and what else? The first spaceport up there, right? I think it was. Yeah, we already extended our storage back there and we already unlocked nuclear power last time around. So let's have a look what else we can unlock now. I think we are going to go for leading edge production so that we have the MK3 miner available, right? So let's select that milestone. Let's bring everything in that we need. More supercomputers and more pipes. That should be easy. 1,000 pipes, you say? Wow, okay. So that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and maybe like 3 extra stacks for me. Some supercomputers. Let me have a look actually. Oh, and the cooling systems, of course. That was the additional thing that we have now available. So, okay, supercomputers and pipes. All right. Let me grab some more fused frames as well. Now over here. And as you can see, some time has passed. So our chests are full and I'm going to show you what I did in the meantime here, right? Okay, so let's unlock Miner MK3 leading edge production. Let's go. Cool.
The Miner Mark III provides top-of-the-line resource extraction potential, making it even easier to contribute to project assembly. Project part number 8, the thermal propulsion rocket, is the most complex project part of this phase as it requires turbo motors, and thus requires your best. FICSIT didn't think pioneers such as you could get this far. I am glad we have both proven them wrong.
Yeah, right? Okay, so I just realized that MK3 miners also need turbo motors, which we do not produce yet. Well, good thing that this is more or less the next thing we are going to produce. All right, you may already have noticed, but I tried to fiddle around with the recording a little bit so that we now have a compressor on our audio here. So it should not happen that much anymore that my voice is gonna be so low that you can't hear it while the game sound is loud. And over here you might already have noticed that's in parts a little home for someone special maybe, but also that was part of my test, so regarding the new audio settings, right? So let me know in the comments if it's better for you now or if something else needs to be tweaked about that. Also, we can actually unlock turbo rifle ammo. I think it was down here. Yes, and I already prepared everything for that. Take all and remove that one here. So we can do that. That's another thing checked off of the MAM list, so to say.
Turbo rifle ammo unlocked. The pioneer ammo of choice when obstacles are numerous and time is short. Panic and imminent death often negatively affect human accuracy, so this ammo meets the human experience with FICSIT efficiency.
Yeah, it's got a little more damage, but a little less accuracy as far as I know. Where do we start? You know what? let's start by looking at some plans I have made. So let me pull them up for you. There we go. All right. So the next big thing we are going to go for is electromagnetic control rods and turbo motors and what is it? Magnetic field generators for that matter. So that's going to be a big thing. Let's actually call that one EMC, electromagnetic control rod and turbo motor factory. There we go. That's going to be this one. And we are going to do something like that again. We are using versatile frameworks, which we already have available. And that's actually all of the versatile frameworks we have available. So let's hope we don't need them for something else. And I was thinking we are going to have a lot of train tracks or train routes, basically, only for those few items here, right? And we have drones. But for drones, we want to have batteries as fuel. And we don't produce batteries yet. So why not set up a battery factory for that? Producing hopefully all the batteries we are going to need until the end of the game, basically. And that's this one. And you might think, wow, that's simple. But the simplicity comes from those two guys here. We are assuming to have plastic and aluminum sheets available, which we usually wouldn't have, right? But I set up two more factories, actually. An aluminum raw factory, that's what I called it, producing those amounts of casings and sheets here. And also a plastic raw factory, which produces rubber and plastic in these amounts, 600 and 360, right? So that we can use some of those here. And actually, we still might have to adjust the aluminum raw factory a little bit. I guess that's what we are going to do today, since we want to reuse those resources for our next factory as well, right? Just to get rid of oil, for instance. As you can see, we don't need any oil for this one. That's just because we import plastic and rubber here. And also, I don't want to go through the whole aluminum production line again, right? So we are going to import aluminum casings. However, we need 210 here, and I only took care of 112.5. So let's adjust this plan a little bit so that we keep the same amount of bauxite here, and copper for that matter, and that we maybe double the amount of aluminum casing. So we want to land at 600 bauxite per minute. So it's 125. That's double the amount, right? 225, of course. There we go. And now we have to adjust this down. Oh, it's only 300. That might be a problem. We already need 315 here. All right, so I guess then let's see if we can adjust it to the exact amount then. Oh, that kind of misses the purpose for that, but because I wanted to have some supply until Yeah, at least for a few more factories here, but obviously we won't have that. So it's 210 then. And I don't know, can we 320? It will be enough for this. It will be enough for this. Plastic and rubber shouldn't be a problem. Yeah, so we need to adjust this factory this way then, I guess. Why is it more water here? And oh, because you need a different amount of copper ingots, of course. Oh no. Oh no, oh no, oh no. Okay, let's readjust, bring it back to the original. What was it, 600? No. What was it? 360, right? No? Huh. 400? 450? 450, I guess. Yeah, exactly. Oh, no. So this is going to be a problem then. All right, but at least we can take care of batteries for now, right? All right, so now you basically know what I did in between episodes. Let's have a look at those factories real quick, just as a little catch up, right? So let's get over to Western Shore, I guess. Yeah. So I basically put the aluminum raw factory right next to the RCU factory, right? Actually, it's part of the same building. I try to reuse all of the supplies we already had, all of the pipes and all of the belts, basically. Just stock them up a little bit. I brought the polymer resin from over there. That was kind of a byproduct. Not kind of a byproduct, it was a byproduct. And brought it to the plastic raw factory. Plastic and rubber, actually. And also, I used the remaining polymer resin from our turbo fuel factory to, use a little less oil, I guess, and produce a little more plastic. And our plastic raw factory is that thing back there, the second building right behind our turbo fuel factory. Let's have a look. At the aluminum stuff first, I guess. So what did I do? I hauled a little bit from this bauxite miner over there, brought it over there, merged it with, I guess, a fully overclocked bauxite miner, so 600 per minute then, I guess. Up there, we already used back in the RCU factory. This is, by the way, the belt for the polymer resin that goes all the way down there. I cranked up this pipe here to 600 water per minute. I also increased the amount of oil. It wasn't that much, but a little more. Brought all of that under there. I also brought some copper from the other mine that we had over there, or the other spot, the other node basically, right? Brought that here. It should be this one, yes. And that's 90 per minute currently. Branched up here with the water, brought it in there, and branched the oil here and brought it in there, right? And that's what we do in here. Some oil processing, making heavy oil residue for petroleum coke, then alumina solution, the usual thing basically, right? And then making aluminum scrap from petroleum coke and alumina solution. Over here we have some refineries for copper, right? Making pure copper ingots. And on top here we have all the aluminum processing basically. All the scrap comes in here into 2x10 smelters, making pure aluminum ingots. And by the way, we need 2 lines here because that's 1,200 aluminum scrap per minute. So 600 on each side, resulting in 600 ingots overall. And they all go into here and make casings here, only 112.5. And a lot of sheets over here, which go this way, entering our RCU factory building basically, and brought over to 2 more train stations over there, and all the overflow is going to go over here and will be scrapped down there. So there's that. And also the overflow polymer resin is scrapped over there, which is kind of unnecessary since we basically do the same over at the raw plastic factory as well, but well, double safe, I guess. So let's have a quick look at the plastic raw factory as well. So that we're on the same page for that as well. So obviously I needed to increase the amount of water extractors down here a little bit, right? So there's a lot more water extraction going on now. This is where the polymer resin from our turbo fuel factory is coming out of the building. That's the line that we already had a look at. This one going down back to our aluminum raw factory, and all that polymer resin is brought in over there. There are the water inputs basically, and all the way over there is the oil input. And I also rerouted the oil a little bit, so now we're using this extractor at 600 cubic meters per minute, and this one with 300, I think, only for both of them, right? And I also put down signs so that we keep track of this. So we're using 274 crude oil in here in our plastic raw factory, and we are using 435 crude oil for turbo fuel. That's of course more than less than 900, but yeah, so we still have some headspace left here in terms of oil. And for the aluminum and RCU factories over there, where we just came from, right? That's gonna be this pipe. This uses what is it? 230, right? Only uses this one over there. Should also be 600 per minute, and this one only supplies with 300 per minute our basically starter factories, or oil and computer quartz factory at home. But that was already the case last episode. So this shouldn't be news to you. You can actually go. Yeah, we don't need a valve there. All right, cool. So let's have a quick look at the plastic raw factory here. It's a bit of a monstrosity. It consists almost only of refineries. Yeah, processes oil into heavy oil residue and polymer resin. Polymer resin is then used to produce rubber mainly, right? Heavy oil residue goes to 2x4 blenders over here, making diluted fuel. Not running at 100% yet. Yeah, makes diluted fuel, which is then used for recycled rubber and plastic again. So we're producing regular rubber here, turning that into plastic using the recycled plastic recipe, which is used over here, or parts of it at least. Those last 5, I think, here are then used to produce more rubber, which then is fed back into the whole recycled plastic production line here, right? And then we have another, 5 or so, 6, 5 refineries which produce the actual rubber that we bring down here to the train station, and all the excess is scrapped here, and same for the rubber, same for the plastic, I'm sorry. These are the actual production line refineries, let's say, which bring the plastic here to the train station, and this one scraps the remaining stuff, right? So all of that keeps running and running and running, which is important, kind of, since we need to use all of the polymer resin from our turbo fuel factory that we do not stop producing fuel, basically, right? So that our generators keep running. So that's basically all of it. We now have some excess plastic and rubber and aluminum products available, but as you could see in the plan earlier, we kind of already took care of that. And we will use it and need even more, obviously, for the next factory. Speaking of power, we might want to increase our power production a little bit sooner or later. Actually, you can go. You're not even correct anymore. I don't know where I'm going to do that. Don't want to adjust this turbo fuel factory over here anymore. So I guess we have to make a new one somewhere. I don't know yet. For now, let's hope that we can survive with our current capabilities, I guess. And other than that, nuclear power would also be an option, right? I would love to start with that a little later on, as soon as we have more recipes available. But yeah, maybe we need to set up a simple, quote-unquote, nuclear plant somewhere. I don't know yet. I mean, we should have nitric acid available very soon. Or do we already have it available? I'm not sure. We are going back to Central now and take care of a few more unlocks milestones. And one of those might be nitric acid, actually. So we'll see about that. With which we actually could make ourselves some rocket fuel. Maybe we set up a rocket fuel power plant. Oh, some contention here. That might be a problem at some point. That's also why we want to use drones, right? To make the life of our trains a little easier, I guess. So let's see, in terms of milestones, what else? Particle enrichment, that's the last one we can do. And there are our somewhat improved recipes for nuclear power fuel, basically, right? The plutonium fuel rods, I think, are the way to go then. I need to look that up and set up a plan for this as well. And also there's our nitric acid. I mean, we actually don't have turbo motors available yet, but we have some of them available from various crash sites. So let's use them to unlock stuff here. We need more quick wire. What is it? 2,500, right? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay. We need some cooling systems. What is it? 200? I don't think we need them as building materials. So, and also we have some of them stored in our dimensional depot. So no problem. Let's have a look. Turbo motors. We need only 50, I think. Yeah. So we still have 57 available, which we can use for some Mark III miners at least. All right. Let's get this going here. So that's the last milestone. Nice.
Milestone reached. Project part number 9, nuclear pasta, can be created in the particle accelerator. The accelerator has vast and fluctuating power demands, depending on the recipe, so will need careful integration with your factory. FICSIT does not waste, so nuclear waste can be refined by the particle accelerator into plutonium for reuse in the nuclear power plant. Fun fact: FICSIT psychologists suggest factory designs reflect the minds of their creators in unexpected ways. On an unrelated note, your infrastructural choices have been interesting.
Yeah. Deep. Nitric acid. We actually need iron plates? Okay. Yeah, and rocket fuel has compacted coal as a byproduct, so that's gonna be interesting. All right, so we always need a bit of iron available. Well, shouldn't be a problem. All right, we still have plenty of time, so let's take care of that copper miner that we still need to upgrade a little bit over at our aluminum factory right here. And by the way, also I had a quick look at all of our latest factory in terms of debugging, right? And I think I identified and fixed a few of the problems there. You know, problems like using Mark 1 belts here and there where they're not supposed to. Yeah, stuff like that basically. So that should have improved their efficiency a little bit. Also, another thing I want to talk about. Especially for the last two factories, I realized that we are doing a lot of the same stuff over and over again. For instance, like producing heavy modular frames, or producing the whole aluminum product line, right? It's always the same. The whole pure iron ingot, copper ingot, and whatnot production is always kind of the same. So I'd say going forward, we won't do that in the episodes. So I will always prepare at least the basic stuff that we already did a million times. I will prepare that in between episodes, and then we can focus on the more interesting and new stuff, let's say, right? So that's our copper miner here, for which we need basically only the portable miners, right? So let's get them going. Give me 3 of them. Unfortunately, I think I already mentioned that in one of the first episodes, you cannot simply, when upgrading them, you don't get the portable miners back first and then can use them for upgrading, right? You have to spend the portable miners first and then you get the others back. So now I will end up with 2 portable miners in my inventory. There we go. But we can just put them into the depot. And by the way, barrel nuts. We're full on barrel nuts. So we might wanna put them to use. All right, let's have a quick look over here. How much copper do we actually need for this one? Let's make this 163. So what is it? Yeah, 163. And there we go. Now the aluminum factory can work at the full potential. Finally. Let me check one thing. Since we are getting bauxite here from via train, we have 177, and same here, I guess, about 175, so 350 per minute, which is still much less than we actually need here, since we need 480. Let's check that real quick. I mean, obviously we don't have a problem with the bauxite supply here, but let's what are you? You're using the excess rubber from here. Yeah, I remember. All right, so bauxite should be in here. You're working at 100%, not really at 100%. What's your problem? You're missing bauxite. So we're actually using all of the bauxite, right? So we have a problem. That's weird. thought that there was still some bauxite available over there when I had a look earlier. Okay. I mean, you're full. We could upgrade that to Mark 5 still, okay, but Mark 4 should be more than enough for 480 per minute. Let's do it anyway. I mean, maybe we need a buffer container somewhere. That might be a problem. Maybe the time. The train station remains. Oh, what did I do? There was Mark 1 there somewhere. Let's just upgrade all of it. The time the train station is unavailable, the few seconds, I think it's 10 or 20 seconds, something like that. Maybe that's enough? No. Is it? I mean, you're using 80 bauxite per minute and you're even downclocked. It's 200 per minute, so okay, maybe that is the problem. There is more than enough bauxite available, but it empties before while the train is unloading and none of the bauxite is accessible. Basically, it's going to be empty. The belts are going to be empty. Not that there isn't enough. So now the belts are empty. So that's it. The remaining stuff will go into... I mean, now that we upgraded the belts, that might help a little bit, actually, right? But still, now there's no bauxite, and now new bauxite is coming. Maybe that already helped. But other than that, we might still wanna have a buffer container. We never did something like that, right? Let's see. We just need to move this. That should be no problem. Let's see. Oh, industrial storage container. So we could do something like that, and then that. Give me the hole. Put that on here. turn you around, do something like that. So now, I mean, now we're completely destroying the whole bauxite supply. I know, but you can go, and you can go. And what we want to do now is connect both stations independently, right? And now we have 2 buffer containers available, basically, so that should be, what is it? 100 times 6 times 8. 6 times 8 times 100 is... Really? That's all? 4,800 bauxite per container. And we're emptying it at a rate of 780 per minute, so it's more than 6 minutes to empty the whole thing. Alright. But now we should have enough bauxite available over here to keep our refineries alive, no problem. So yeah, now the supply stopped, right, until the unload procedure is done. And now it continues, and oh, it's not even full. 180 per minute, items per minute, 180 items per minute. So hopefully the transfer rate goes up a little bit. Otherwise, we would have to use another train, right? Don't know if that actually would solve our problems here, but yeah, let's let this thing do its thing a little more, and we'll come back and check that later. So, okay, copper miner is fixed. Also, I have, whoopsie, already prepared another train station down there, where we are going to set up our battery production. Let me have a quick look. Oh yeah. We are going to use some of that sulfur here, some of the water, and some of the iron here. There's nitrogen, huh? Now that we have Mark III miners available, we could also extend this sulfur miner here, but yeah, not necessary currently. Yeah. What I'm going to do is prepare that factory accordingly. By the way, we can unlock, we can check the unlock thing off of our list right there. Yeah, bring in all the resources and all that kind of stuff, and then we can start producing batteries over there. And what we are gonna do is we need to distribute fuel basically to all outbound or inbound, it doesn't really matter, drone ports later on, right? So we will have drones for that. I hope that's possible. I still need to... Oh yeah, it should be possible. We will have separate drone ports only delivering batteries to the surrounding drone ports, right? So that we have enough fuel available everywhere. Yeah, right. All right, there we are, and that's where I'm going to start with the factory somewhere here. Not exactly sure where, but somewhere down there, I guess. All right, let's check the unlock here of our list. So we got that going. Perfect. And yeah, guys, that's it for today. We unlocked our last milestone. We fixed that copper miner at our aluminum factory. We also fixed the bauxite supply, actually, which was very important, I would say. Yeah, so we're good to go for proceeding into the late game then. Only one tier to go, only one phase to go. I mean, we have to complete 2 phases actually, but you know what I mean. All right, guys, that's it for today. I hope you enjoyed this little catch-up episode, basically. Even though we haven't built anything in particular. Yeah, and I hope to see you around next time as well. And until then, bye-bye.